Hello, and welcome back to Terraria Legendary Mode, where we can't count. Really, the first thing I did was check my deaths, and it looks like I have 28. And if you're coming right off the first episode, you'll know that I ended up with 29. So to have counted more than what there actually is, that's a unique issue. So I skimmed through all the footage, and as it turns out, I skipped a number. And that number is one that I'm not gonna tell you. Oh no, I guess that means you gotta watch it in full and figure it out for yourself. Oh gee, oh no, anyway, stepping back into business, the Traveling Merchant is handing me just about everything for the Architect Gizmo Pack, which will come in handy later. Much later. Also, thank you Terraria for showing off just how long I've been sitting on some of this footage. I didn't mean for the editing to take this long, but you know what, very cool. Anyways, the wait has gone on long enough. It's time to find the shimmer. However, progress soon had to stop due to a weather delay. So, a few point-blank executions and gel juggling later, I noticed that the slime staff have been sat in my pockets for who knows how long. Sorry Abigail, but there's a new little guy in town. His name is Squish, and I love him. But before I get too comfortable, there's a rather large guy too. Ah! I don't want to admit how long it took to ensure that Squish got the last blow in, so let's just grab the loot and move on. Alright, let's get the little guy a damage buff, shall we? Thank you. Alright, back to the quest for Shimmer, and look, hiding behind some stone with the Vile Thorn may be the coward's move, but these spiders can knock you down in like 2 or 3 hits. Don't ask me how I know that. I continue digging, and numbers in the distance! Oh my god, somebody's in danger! I'll save you! Oh, it's the stylist. Yeah, sure, let me help with... How do I tell her? Well, time to get back to... Ah! That scared me. Taking a break from the spiders, I get a fishing quest that gives me an excuse to seek out some sky islands. No, I saved her. You don't see that. Anyway, all this does is give me a grave reminder that this world seed kind of sucks. Ah. While in the air, I find a silly little guy stuck to a balloon. This won't be like the stylist again. I'll save you, little guy. Oh, nice. No! He came back soon after, but my mourning will continue. Anyway, back to finding the shimmer. Here's a little tip for y'all. Make sure to always smack these gold piles. You never know just how much I have in store for you, because 22 gold for a pickaxe swing is incredible. Anyway, adding to my good luck, I found myself a bone pickaxe, making the rest of the journey down much quicker. Ah, finally. I wonder how close I was to finding it before. Oh. Alright, time to toss this all in. And... now, with that off the checklist, it's finally time. I never meant for this forest town to be my permanent residence, and I have a gravely stupid idea for where I can go. It's time to get serious. Party time's over. Or maybe not. I spot a small pond deep in the jungle, hatching an idea that brings me straight to work. While building, I find an oddly fashionable frog, so I take the obvious approach of forcing it to raid on my screen, building temporary housing for the dryad, buying some purification powder off of her, and slapping the frog with it. New friend acquired. Taking a break from construction, the blood moon rose, bringing a pretty terrible idea with it. Alright, I'm going blood moon fishing, get that gravestone on the screen, cause it's time to count. Wow, that last one's not even related. Alright, time to cross another goal off the list. Fixing my storage issue. I name some chests, and I take plenty of trips slapping stuff inside of them. Now that I'm more organized, I wanted to grab some materials to work on the desert pylon, though in typical Captain Flare fashion, distractions come easy. The golfer is nearby. After a little bit more tunneling than necessary, I find him. Dude, hey dude, hi, your ball was floating. Anyway, now I can probably leave and, well, you know, a few more minutes of exploring probably won't hurt. Yeah, just a few more minutes. Also, you probably noticed how impossibly handy the Vilethorn was in this process, taking out some enemies from a distance and also activating a lot of the rolling cacti and larvae and whatnot. So you already know I've got to give it the Captain Flare seal of approval. Once I finally resurface, I extract all the fossils I found, and you know what? I haven't explored the underground ice biome either, so I'll just take a little time to do that. Yeah, just a little bit, Dart trap number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ice skates, 6, and 7. Is this a for the worthy thing? I mean, I only went this far down. How are there 7 dart traps? Anyway, I grab even more, and I return home for another boots upgrade. Was I doing something important before? Oh well, now I'm sky fishing again, grabbing a cradle on the way, and when I open it, the seed is flawed. I can dodge the locked chests. Alright, so after seeing the merchant talk with the cat, finding more pans, exploring some cool caves, and returning home via explosion, I decide the next step in my journey is an incredible amount of violence. Oh yeah, and it was all to get some more money too. I love this game. Well, time to abuse some previously learned knowledge. Alright, time to get that Star Fury. You know, considering that I'm totally dodging the locked chest gimmick the seed's throwing at me, this is fair. Alright, back to building what's probably the most important structure in the entire playthrough. Yep, you know what, that's a good time for a break. Though this break was anything but calm. I'm back to the lava fishing. The point of all this is to get a lava charm to make some Terra Spark boots. But it's clear that it'll need some more work. So, after some tragic losses, I give up, finding another tragic loss just waiting for me. I didn't make this centered on an odd number of blocks. Am I willing to shift half of this over to make that happen? Yes. Yes, I am. Took the whole night, but it's been done. I sit for a moment and reflect on how I choose to spend my time. Wait, what the shit? Now, in my quest to be extra for no reason, I nab some ashwood for my next little thing I'm working on. That's right, more violence. I'm gonna defeat the Eater of Worlds. But first, I'm gonna need a bit more space. I construct a crude sort of arena with all the amenities I need to ensure that I don't explode at first contact with the worm. And also, I learned about monster lasagna. Ew. Anyway, I accidentally get a really great summon weapon, sorry Squish, and now I'm back to fishing. I know, I promised fight the Eater World soon, but I'm a tad scared, so, you know, let a guy procrastinate once in a while. Come on, I never do that. Oh yeah, did I mention that I've been doing all this without a lava-proof fishing hook? This process sucks so bad, and my reaction is the evidence. Finally. Anywho, time to finally get that desert pylon sorted. Unrelated, but I also made this little house in the snow biome for no particular reason, and I left to do something else. Nothing bad ever happens when going AFK in Terraria, right?
Right? Wrong!
Well, If I put this off any longer, my viewer retention rate is gonna drop. So, hey, look at this frog. Isn't he silly bouncing around? Anyway, I'm fishing for potion materials to beat someone up, so don't worry, it's happening. It's time for the next big boss fight. Nothing quite like challenging the typical order, defeating bosses for nothing but goofs and general whimsy. I went ahead and beat him up a few more times too, giving me a near-perfect sample of all the loot that he carries with him. And, like after the Eye Cthulhu fight, here's a sneaky little peek towards the kind of items I use to make this fight easier, with most of the accessories forged for more damage. I'm sorry, Lucy the Axe, but you're not coming with me on this adventure. I'm sure that somewhere, in another universe, you're being treated well alongside Abigail.
You fuckers!
Anyways, get back here, dear Claps, I'm not done yet! He dropped just about everything except for the one item I actually wanted from him, the Weather Pane. This weapon releases a homing tornado that I've actually been really excited to use against the Eater of Worlds. So, to get that party started, I'm switching things up into using a mage build for this fight to make my tornadoes pack a bit more of a punch. Whoa, no, wait, pause the montage. What was that? What was that? Okay, so after reviewing the footage, it looks like my frog just jumped down and proceeded to annihilate half the boss's health. Cool. Alright, anyway, let's keep things rolling here. Hello class, I'm your professor, Mr. Flair, as lovingly named by commenter DJ Sprouts in the last video, and today we're going to be learning how to count. Now, as many of you have noticed in the last video, Michael struck down 2 Shadow Orbs, and after playing in the world for many hours more, he used a summon item to fight the Eater of Worlds for dramatic effect or something. Now, if you add 2 broken Shadow Orbs and 1 summon item later down the road, how many broken orbs do you have? Well, if you said 2, then great job, but if you said 3, then you've possibly made the same forgetful mistake as Michael right about now, who, let it be known, is currently stationed thousands of blocks from the safety of his corruption arena. So let's all see what that looks like, and don't forget to take notes. When heading over to pick up the pieces left behind by my forgetful corpse, Meteorite decided to stop by, so we'll check on that later. In the meantime, I have some qualms with a particular diseased-looking noodle, and on the topic of this fight, I'll throw in a shout out to the slime mount, which let me dodge tons of damage as I bounced on him like I'm stomping on
Koopas!
Also, I swear to God, I got more pants. Anyway, while looking for the Meteor's crash site, I noticed I accidentally started displaying my frame rate hours ago, so get unintentionally flexed on, I guess? Alright, so I find it tucked carefully between my beautiful snow biome house and Deerclops Arena, so I really dodged a bullet there. And while getting to work clearing it, I find some goober with his face in the snow. Yeah, it happens once in a while, you get used to it. So, after painstakingly cleaning it up, I'm chatting with the guy to remember if meteorite's actually useful when... This one is right outside my jungle base, so I had to get it out of there. Also, I do a tad more fishing off camera, finally earning me a lava charm and... Oh my god, I'm actually building again. Look at it, it's going really well so far. I can build off of that and... It was like 2 a.m. at the point of recording this gameplay, so I hope you can understand when I say that I am not dealing with that. In an effort to avoid a red-tinted world, I rerouted to another red-tinted world that's actually much worse, I think. It's time I get an armor upgrade, so I'm doing some spicy digging. Also, this imp just so happens to drop the last TerraSpark boots ingredient I need, so after waiting about 37 years for this lava to stop draining, I grab it and head to the surface for some of the most satisfying crafting this stage of progression offers. I go back for a little more mining, and it's so boring I can feel my mind expanding just to compensate for it. Not even in one of the hardest seeds in the game do we have to worry about drowning in lava. Anyway, I craft the almighty molten armor and tools, taking my volcano sword out for a comically short spin. Finally, we can get back to some building. Finally, we can get back to some building. Between my construction spurts, I head to the shimmer where I both, perish horribly, and I also create a little tunnel underneath the shimmer to catch me just in case I never moved on from my days as a toddler and I fall in. While dealing with the mental turmoil of figuring out how to decorate certain rooms, I go out and purchase a platinum coin's worth of lawn flamingos. My coping strategies are perfectly healthy, thank you very much. Anyway, I figured it out, allowing me to ditch this ugly temporary housing in favor of literally anything else. And with that, that's a reasonable place to end the video, probably. I mean, I wanted to get this one out way sooner, so I've got to put a cork on this content train eventually. I never really meant for these videos to be as long as the first one anyway. But before that, I have one more surprise in store. Okay, actually, I lied, not this time. If this doesn't make any sense, then go watch the first video. I do something pretty cool at the end. Alright, anyway, I gotta wrap this up. Next time on Terraria Legendary Mode, how will making a Queen Bee Arena impact my mental health? What tricks does Legendary Skeletron have up his sleeve? His bone? His wrist bone? Well, what kind of wacky structures will I build? And, oh, wait, no, this is the same screen as before. We can move past this and, no, wait a minute. No, please, no, the crystal stands on my base? No, I can't do Old One's Army in Legendary Mode. No, please, it's so boring, please. No, the content is so boring. Ah!